In 1977, a modest council house in Enfield, London, became the epicenter of one of Britain's most chilling hauntings. The Hudson family faced a dark presence that upended their lives. Across the Atlantic, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren arrived to confront the unknown. This is the story of the Enfield poltergeist, a case that tested the limits of belief and fear. Before diving into Enfield, let's meet Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed, a self-taught demonologist, grew up fascinated by the supernatural, shaped by his own childhood encounters with strange presences. Lorraine, a clairvoyant, claimed to sense energies others couldn't. Together, they founded the New England Society for Psychic Research in 1952, investigating thousands of cases. From their Connecticut home, they built an occult museum housing artifacts like the infamous Annabelle doll, believed to carry a dark force. In August 1977, Peggy Hodgson, a single mother, lived at 284 Green Street with her 4 children, Margaret, 13, Janet, 11, Johnny, 10, and Billy, 7. It started with odd noises, knocks on walls, like someone tapping from within. Then furniture slid across rooms, and toys moved without a touch. Peggy thought it might be a prank, but the events grew stranger. Janet became the focus. She heard whispers in her room, felt unseen hands tug her clothes, and spoke in a gruff voice, claiming to be Bill Wilkins, a man who once lived in the house. Neighbors saw a chest of drawers slide unaided. A police officer, Carolyn Heaps, witnessed a chair move across the floor, later swearing no one touched it. The Hodgson house wasn't just noisy, it felt alive. The family was terrified, sleeping in one room for safety. Word spread, and local media descended, capturing photos of objects flying. This wasn't a quiet ghost story, it was a spectacle that demanded answers. In 1978, Ed and Lorraine Warren arrived in Enfield, invited by local investigators like Morris Gross from the Society for Psychical Research. The Warrens found a home thick with fear. Lorraine, sensitive to energies, felt a heavy presence centered on Janet. Ed suspected a powerful entity, possibly using the girl to communicate. They recorded Janet speaking as Bill Wilkins, her voice deep and unnatural, describing his life in the house. The Warrens traced records, confirming a man named Bill Wilkins had indeed passed there years before. But Ed warned, Bill's voice might be a mask for something darker. The Warrens' recordings are chilling. Janet, an 11-year-old, spoke with the cadence of an old man, recounting details she couldn't know. Ed believed a sinister force was at play, feeding on the family's fear. Lorraine, through her clairvoyance, sensed layers of entities in the home. Their brief visit, only a few days, left a lasting mark. The disturbances intensified. Objects flew, books, toys, even a teapot. Janet was lifted from her bed, her body twisting as if held aloft. Strange writings appeared on walls, and knocks echoed in patterns, responding to questions. The Warrens and Gross set up tape recorders, capturing over 140 hours of audio, including Bill's voice and unexplained bangs. Other witnesses piled in. Neighbors, journalists, even a milkman reported odd events. A BBC crew filmed, only to find their equipment jammed inside the house, yet skepticism grew. Some caught Janet bending spoons or jumping on her bed, suggesting she faked some incidents. Was she a troubled child acting out, or a conduit for something real? The evidence is polarizing. Photos show Janet airborne, but critics argue they're staged. The audio is eerie, but some say Janet mimicked the voice. The Warrens stood firm, insisting the house held a genuine presence, possibly tied to its history. They urged the family to resist fear, believing it fueled the entity. Ed and Lorraine approached Enfield with their signature blend of faith and investigation. Ed, rooted in Catholic demonology, used prayers and holy water to challenge the entity. Lorraine relied on her visions, guiding the team to focus on Janet. They worked alongside Gross and others, but their brief stay sparked tension. Some local investigators felt the Warrens, as outsiders, sensationalized the case. The Hodgsons faced relentless scrutiny. Social services questioned Peggy's parenting, and tabloids accused the family of seeking fame. The Warrens, no strangers to criticism, defended the Hodgsons, pointing to the dozens of witnesses. But doubts lingered. Had the Warrens' fame amplified a small haunting into a global story? The Warrens walked a fine line. Their charisma drew attention, but it also invited skepticism. They didn't stay long in Enfield, yet their involvement shaped the case's legacy. Their methods, part science, part faith, set them apart, but also made them targets for those who saw the supernatural as fiction. By 1979, the disturbances in Enfield faded. The Hodgsons stayed in the house, worn but resilient. The Warrens returned to America, adding Enfield to their vast case files. Their work inspired The Conjuring 2, bringing the story to millions. But the film took liberties, portraying the Warrens as central figures when their role was smaller. The Warrens' legacy is complex. They investigated over 10,000 cases from Amityville to Annabelle, leaving behind a trove of artifacts in their occult museum. Ed passed in 2006, Lorraine in 2019, but their story lives on through films and their museum, now run by their family. Enfield remains a cornerstone of their fame. The Enfield case is a puzzle. Over 30 witnesses, including police and journalists, saw things they couldn't explain. Yet skeptics point to Janet's behavior and the Warrens' flair for drama. The truth lies in the gray part mystery, part belief. The Warrens dared to chase that mystery, no matter the cost. The Enfield house stands quiet today, but its story haunts us. The Warrens' work, whether you see it as truth or tale, challenges what we accept as real. The knocks, the voices, the flying objects, were they a cry from the unknown, or a family struggle made larger than life? The Enfield poltergeist endures because it asks us to face the unseen. Ed and Lorraine Warren didn't just hunt ghosts, they hunted answers. Can a child channel something beyond? The Warrens believed so, and their legacy dares us to ask, what's really out there? The Enfield poltergeist remains one of the world's most debated hauntings. Was it a sinister force, a family's turmoil, or a story spun by the Warrens' fame? The truth hides in the shadows, but the fear is undeniable. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Sweet dreams.